Hi, everyone. For this session, I'm very excited to introduce all of you to Brandy Alvarado-Miranda of BAM Marketing and PR, but she is also a part of WAVIT, which is a really great organization. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. First of all, Brandy, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing really well.
Good. Yeah. So, first of all, do you want to just ahead of DSE, it's one of the last trade shows we all get to like go to this year. Do you want to talk about some of the trends in the digital signage space that are exciting to you as we head into, the last few months of 2024?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I've got a nice little ecosystem of clients that I work with that are, a lot of them are in the digital signage space, pro AV, digital signage mostly. And, some of the things that I'm really jazzed about seeing in terms of trends in digital signage is the whole sustainability issue, right? I've got a client, Prevar, right now that just released, a really cool e-ink, um,
Mm-hmm.
e-paper type of product, specific for digital signage. And I think, I love seeing those kind of trends, obviously, because, we need to do a better job of taking care of our planet and things to that nature. And this is definitely in that realm, but yet still offers customers that amazing visual experience that they're used to seeing in digital signage. So that's one trend I'm really excited about. The other thing that I think, just as kind of a tech nerd and tech junkie is anything immersive. I mean, let's talk
Yeah.
about the sphere, let's talk about Cosm, let's talk about, any of these sort of like really cool, immersive experiences that are just um, you know, the lifeblood of our industry, I think. I think they're just really too cool to not experience.
Do you think that digital signage is in a lot of ways pushing these other kind of areas of our industry forward?
Oh, definitely. I think, with a lot of, manufacturers in the space, right? It's not the bright, shiny that you're seeing, like, let's be honest, cables, mounts, matrix switchers, things like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just not, those aren't, while they're a necessary, part of the whole digital signage ecosystem, they're not the bright, shiny as we get with, displays, whether that be LED or flat panels or what have you.
Exactly. No, I'm excited to see a lot of this technology that is pushing that forward at DSE because a lot of it is going to be, you're right, a lot of the LEDs, the LCDs, the OLEDs that are really pushing this forward, but
Yeah.
it also is like in part the technology that drives all of that as well. Um, but I kind of want to shift. I want to ask you about WAVIT because you're doing a lot of really great work ahead of DSE. So, what are some key initiatives that you have been working on in the organization to support women, maybe specifically in digital signage?
Sure. Well, proactively, we work with DSE and the folks at LDI and Questex to do a WAVIT and women of digital signage, you know, gathering every year. So, excuse me, this year we're doing a tech brunch actually called Navigating Careers and Breaking Barriers, and that's going to be held on Tuesday, December 10th at 10:30, I believe. And really, what that is it's kind of a little bit of a mosh, right? So we really want to talk about why mentoring is really important to women and how we facilitate that from the Wave It side of things, but also the why, right? It's really important to understand that, these mentorship programs like what we're doing with Wave It are really vital for DEI, for, getting women a better seat at the table, so to speak, and to really moving the needle towards more inclusion in our industry, and not just digital signage that sort of is overreaching into a lot of areas. So that's one thing. And then in terms of Wave It, the other initiatives that we have that are, I think, really sort of vital to women in the industry is, one, we started a podcast, which is really amazing, and that reaches audiences on a whole different level because it's women speaking about their experiences and coming from different angles and perspectives. And I always think that that's just a huge vital importance to, again, sort of rounding out our careers, rounding out our our perspectives on different, issues in the industry, and really coming to the table with some resources and things that have maybe worked for others that we hadn't considered, right? So podcasts are amazing, and I think that's one thing that we've brought. We've started a job board, which is another big
That's
part of
cool.
the puzzle, right? Because what we found, back when we hit COVID, and thank God we're over the whole pandemic baloney and nonsense. But one thing that we know that was a big contributor, of decline of women in this industry was COVID. Let's face it, COVID didn't do us any favors.
Right.
A lot of women had to leave the industry to find other methods of income, right, during COVID. So we lost a little momentum, and we know that by having a job board that helps match people in their careers, so people can either post their resumes or they can look on our job board for potential opportunities to match them up with. The other thing that we're super proud of is our internship program. So we started that last year about this time, and that's been going gangbusters. And we have other organizations that are interested in doing that. And again, this is all sort of like the baby steps of bringing
Yeah.
more people into the industry, retaining, people into our industry, women especially, and really just kind of the outreach that I think we're kind of lacking, because let's face it, who knows anything about, AV until you're actually in it?
It's
There's not
true.
a real, like, well, with the exception of a very few like AV 101 type of courses that we are now realizing in the industry, it's just not a college, type of thing, right? We fall into it. We hear about it, or we're ex musicians or ex, band geeks or something like that, and fall into this career. So we really want to push the envelope a little bit more with our outreach, and being having an internship program definitely facilitates that. And then, the last thing, and obviously sort of the bigger piece of the puzzle for us right now, is our mentorship program. And so that one was just kicked off as well. And that's something near and dear to my heart, because I've always in my career been lucky to have a mentor. Even when I wasn't in AV, I had a mentor in other careers and other jobs that I had. And I just can't stress the amount of like help that brings to somebody's career, to help navigate situations, to help encourage different perspectives and dealing with things, helping you with challenges, right? I mean, the fact that you can pick up the phone and grab your mentor, or shoot a quick text message or what have you, and have that interface is just, it's vital. And I think that's one of the big reasons that we wanted to bring our mentorship to the forefront. That, and it's just something that we're lacking. A lot of the larger corporations in Pro AV do have internal mentorship or women's organizations and stuff like that. And while that's great, we really want to reach others that aren't able to get those sort of resources, within their organizations. And so, really, there's a very small process into finding a mentor, finding a mentee, and being matched within our Wave of Influence mentorship program. And really, there's a small survey that everybody fills out. And unlike other programs, we took a very personalized approach to the Wave of Influence program. So what we wanted to do is really match people that were geographically kind of in the same
Mhm.
time zone, so that you're not having to fight a time zone to meet up. B, we wanted to match people that wanted to commit to a certain time frame. So in other words, if you filled out the survey and you said, well, I want to try this for the next 6 months, or whatever that time frame is, that's the commitment that you're making from the get-go. And some other personal tidbits about where you want to be in your career and what you want to work on, and really trying to find mentors that match and meld with those kind of people. And then obviously some other detailed things, like you would want somebody that's in sort of your same area of concentration: sales, marketing, just different things, maybe tech, project management, who knows. But so we're really taking a very personalized approach to matching people up, very specifically. So we've had really good success so far, and the program's doing very, very well. And then, taking that a step further, it's not just, you're matched and, go gangbusters and have your first meetings and do your thing. It's check-ins, right? Because we know that we need to make sure that, it's continuing, that the momentum's continuing. If there's anything that we need to address from, any personal, side of the equation. But we know that we need to be sort of more hands-on with a mentorship program and make sure that it is successful in that respect.
No, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you guys are doing this because I think that as a woman who entered this industry, I think it's really easy to feel lost.
Yeah.
And it's not that people aren't trying to support you, it's that you, like, just don't even know what questions to ask half the time.
No.
So I mean, I still feel like I'm treading water in this industry sometimes, but I think that I really felt that way when I first entered. So I think it's really cool that y'all are providing that support to those who might really, really need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just having a network of like-minded individuals that are on the same page as you, whether it be just an individual or an overreaching community like WAVIT, I think that's really important. For me, that's made a huge difference in my career as well, to be able to tap into my community.
Exactly. Well, if people have any questions or might want to get involved, where can they do that?
Sure. They can go on the WAVIT website, which is womeninavit.org. And there's a section on there under resources called mentorship programs. So you can fill out the survey there and get some more program details on that particular page. Or you can find me and chat with me as well. I'm on Twitter at @abrandy, as well as on LinkedIn under Brandy Alvarado-Miranda.
Awesome. And question about the brunch coming up at DSE, who is that open to? How can people find information about that?
They can go to the DSE website and it's under the show agenda. I believe it's open to everybody. It's a paid event, so there's a nominal fee that goes along with that. But everyone is welcome to attend that if they're at DSE or if they're at LDI or any of the other conjoining shows at that point.
Awesome. Well, Brandy, thank you so much. Always a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate